In the stillness of the night, professional life-taker Jason Renshaw arrives at the designated location for his next mission. He parks discreetly outside a quiet toy factory, spending a few minutes conducting surveillance. Inside the factory, renowned toy maker Hans Morris meticulously inspects the latest line of products. His attention is drawn to a limited edition fairy music box that plays a soft, enchanting melody. Satisfied with his work, Hans takes the music box with him as he leaves the workshop, locking the doors behind him. He heads to his office, accessible only through a special keycard. Once inside, he gazes at an old photograph of his mother, signed with love and a quirky little doodle. Outside, Jason notices Hans in his office and starts to prepare for the task ahead. He slips on gloves, covers his shoes, and secures a silencer onto his weapon. Masked and wearing a hat, he blends into the shadows. As Jason makes his approach, a security guard hears a suspicious noise and steps out of his post to investigate. At the entrance, the guard finds a phone with a message alerting him to a bomb about to detonate. Panic-stricken, the guard swipes his keycard to unlock the door, rushing to dispose of the phone. But Jason intercepts him, incapacitating him with a tranquilizer dart. With precision, Jason takes the phone, deactivates the false bomb threat, and pockets the guard's keys. Jason moves further into the building, deactivating security cameras as he goes. He encounters another guard on his patrol and swiftly takes him down with another dart. After hiding both guards, Jason heads upstairs, using the stolen keycard to enter Hans' office. The toymaker barely registers Jason's presence before he is subdued, his life ending in a series of quick, quiet shots. After checking Hans' pulse to ensure the job is done, Jason notices that a picture frame had shattered during the fall, revealing the strange signature from the old photo. Intrigued, he pockets the fairy music box before making his exit. Hours later, Jason is aboard a plane headed home. Using a disposable phone, he messages his employer, confirming Hans' demise and requesting the agreed payment. A fellow passenger asks him for gum, and as Jason rummages through his bag, he's startled by the eerie presence of the music box, which now seems unsettling. He brushes off the strange feeling, handing the gum to the passenger with a forced smile. Later, at the airport, Jason watches the news confirm Hans' death, noting that authorities suspect a professional life-taker. Back at his apartment, Jason can't help but notice a growing sense of unease as more items from Hans' brand appear around him, including a toy duck by his pool. After showering, he places the music box in a glass cabinet, alongside mementos from his previous missions. As Jason checks his account to see that the payment has been wired, he notices a new assignment awaiting him in London. But before moving on, he decides to take a nap. That evening, the doorbell rings, and Jason sees a package left by the receptionist. The package bears no sender information, only the same doodle he'd seen on the photograph of Hans' mother. Proceeding with caution, Jason opens the package to find a box of toy soldiers, complete with miniature weapons and vehicles. The toys, bearing Hans' brand, seem harmless at first, but Jason remains suspicious. After a thorough inspection, he relaxes slightly until the box suddenly tumbles off the counter. Startled, Jason approaches the box, only to find it empty. His apartment begins to descend into chaos. Curtains rustle on their own, lights flicker, and small projectiles begin to fire at him from under the furniture. Jason quickly realizes that the toy soldiers have come to life, their miniature weapons causing real harm. He retreats to the bathroom, checking his wounds in the mirror before attempting to retaliate. Armed and ready, Jason confronts the tiny adversaries, engaging in a bizarre and intense battle. The toys fire tiny bullets and even miniature missiles that leave burns and scars. As Jason presses on, he finds himself overwhelmed by the strange nature of his situation. Despite sustaining more injuries, he finally manages to get close to the source of the harm. He removes the cushions from the couch where the enemy is hiding, firing relentlessly. In his frustration, Jason yells, determined to end this surreal nightmare. Out of bullets and out of patience, Jason Renshaw grabs his backup weapon and aggressively flips the couch to finally confront his enemies, the toy soldiers from the mysterious package. Some of the small figurines lie broken, but the survivors are regrouping, collecting weapons, and hopping into miniature vehicles. Jason stomps on 2 of the soldiers, but the remaining ones retaliate with a flurry of fire. A group of them even manage to board tiny helicopters, which quickly take off, firing small but explosive missiles in his direction. Jason ducks just in time as the helicopters wreak havoc, blowing up his bar in a series of small but devastating explosions. The miniature choppers fly dangerously close to Jason, their whirling blades slicing his hands and face as he drops his fire weapon in pain. Swiftly recovering, Jason retrieves the weapon and manages to take down one of the helicopters, but the distraction allows the others to unleash another barrage of missiles. With no other option, Jason retreats into the bathroom, locking the door behind him. When he looks in the mirror, the sight of his own blood-covered reflection shocks him. Shaking, he disinfects his wounds and groans through the pain as he washes them clean. After gulping down some water to steady himself, he carefully wraps his hand in a bandage. Suddenly, a missile blasts a hole through the door, and a toy helicopter flies into the bathroom. Jason reacts quickly, grabbing a towel and using it to trap the helicopter before slamming it to the floor and stomping it to pieces. Just as he thinks he's safe, another helicopter follows, launching a missile that explodes on impact. However, Jason remains unfazed. With a determined look, he opens fire, chasing the chopper out of the bathroom. After confirming it's gone, he tosses the broken pieces of the destroyed helicopter into the toilet and flushes them, hoping to be done with the toys. But the rattling noise from the toilet doesn't stop. Desperate, Jason throws a hair dryer into the toilet, causing a short circuit that finally unalived the toy soldiers hiding inside, but also plunges the bathroom into darkness. Frustrated and unsure of his next move, he sits down to stitch the deeper wounds on his leg, his hands shaking uncontrollably. While drinking water, Jason spots a can of bug spray that had fallen from the cabinet earlier. He picks it up, realizing it might come in handy as an improvised weapon. Suddenly, Jason notices something sliding under the door, a piece of paper with the word "surrender" scrawled across it. Furious, he scribbles an insult on the back and shoves it out the door. Then, he carefully peeks through the towel he used to cover the hole, just in time to dodge a cannonball that blasts through what's left of the door. The barrage of shots continues, leaving the door in splinters. Realizing he's out of options, Jason climbs out of the window, finding himself on a narrow ledge high above the city streets. Moving cautiously, he inches his way around the building. Just as he's about to reach another window, the toy helicopter returns, firing him in the face before it runs out of ammo. Barely keeping his balance, Jason fires back, managing to set the helicopter ablaze before it crashes to the ground. With a throbbing wound in his ear, he clings to a nearby pipe and continues his perilous journey along the edge of the building. His luck runs out when he loses his grip and falls, but miraculously, he lands on his own balcony. Peeking through the sliding glass door, he spots the remaining toy soldiers huddled together, formulating their next plan of harm around their final cannon. Jason needs a distraction. He grabs a toy duck, a lighter, and a fire extinguisher from his balcony. Moments later, the toy duck is floating in the pool, luring the soldiers away from the door. Seizing the opportunity, Jason bursts inside, spraying the soldiers with the extinguisher. However, a second group sneaks up from behind, opening fire and destroying one of his treasured mementos in the glass cabinet. Frantically, Jason fumbles with the lighter, finally managing to ignite it. He sprays the bug spray through the flame, creating a makeshift flamethrower. The soldiers burn, their toy truck crashing into the furniture. Jason yells in triumph as he torches the rest of them, reducing them to melted plastic. Once the immediate threat is neutralized, Jason methodically slices the remaining soldiers into tiny pieces with a knife. He even watches one of them squirm as he pierced it for good measure. Just as he thinks it's over, the soldiers in the pool fire down the duck, and the fire extinguisher runs dry. Before they can turn their firepower on Jason, he hurls their own box at them, crushing them. Breathing heavily, Jason examines the broken toys, but finds nothing unusual. He counts the pieces to ensure no one escaped, then tosses them all into the garbage disposal and grinds them into dust. After bandaging his wounds and cleaning up, Jason decides to relax in the pool. But just as he starts to unwind, something sharp slices into his arm. Alarmed, he jumps out of the water, scanning the pool for anything suspicious, but finds nothing. The cut on his wrist is deep, so he wraps it in a towel before retreating to his bedroom. Shaken, Jason attempts to stitch the wound, but his hands tremble so much that he abandons the effort and settles for a hasty bandage. Grabbing the magnet with emergency numbers from the fridge, he cautiously walks backwards toward the elevator, not trusting the quiet around him. Jason presses the elevator button, but the uneasy silence is soon broken by a rustling sound from above. Something has entered the elevator's mechanism. Suddenly, the control panel explodes, and the lights go out, leaving Jason trapped as the elevator screeches to a halt. The hatch above opens, revealing a new adversary, a larger, stronger toy soldier. It jumps down, and although Jason tries to track it with his small flashlight, the soldier moves too quickly, slashing his legs and slicing deeply into his arm. Jason uses his belt as a tourniquet to stop the bleeding, but the soldier escapes back through the hatch. Jason scrambles to follow, pulling himself through the hatch just as two explosions rock the elevator shaft. Now stuck between floors, Jason has nowhere to go. A second elevator approaches, so he leaps onto it in desperation, landing painfully but avoiding the soldier's next harm. As he catches his breath, the soldier reappears, hiding on Jason's shoe. It begins climbing up his leg, piercing him repeatedly. Jason pushes it off, and as the elevator reaches the lobby, the doors open. Feigning unconsciousness, Jason waits for the soldier to approach. At the last moment, he grabs the toy, slamming it against the closing elevator doors. The soldier's arms flail helplessly as the doors crush it, ending the fight. Jason hears a faint beeping. Inspecting the toy's remains, he discovers a small bomb hidden inside its bag. Laughing in disbelief, Jason resigns himself to his fate as the bomb explodes, sending flames surging through the elevator shaft. Back in the apartment, the sticker on the toy box falls off, revealing a chilling bonus surprise, written by Han's mother, a commando toy and a thermonuclear device. The fairy music box in the cabinet begins to play its haunting melody once more. And that was the wild and suspenseful ride of the Toymaker's revenge. What starts off as a seemingly straightforward mission for Jason Renshaw quickly spirals into an intense battle for survival against some very unexpected adversaries. With a unique blend of action, horror, and psychological twists, this movie delivers tension in spades. The tiny but deadly toy soldiers, the eerie atmosphere, and Jason's relentless fight to stay alive make for one unforgettable experience. What did you think of the film's mix of action and surreal horror? Did the toys freak you out? Or did you find it more thrilling? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more exciting movie breakdowns. Don't forget to ring the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time with another thrilling review.